Hi, everyone. It's Kate Byars, founder of Corporate Women Unleashed. I am super delighted to be here today with Jill. Jill is one of our fantastic clients. She is the training and development manager, really in a brand new role where she's setting strategy and vision forth for a global automotive company. And she has some incredible story to share, incredible success. Jill, thank you for being here. It's been such a privilege to work with you, and I just appreciate you sharing your story.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here.
Yeah, so let's dig in. And Jill and I were talking beforehand, and for those of you who've watched these shares and these stories before, is we're just going to chit chat. So, Jill, I always like to start with like results. You know, coming into CWU, you obviously had some things going on, which we'll get to in a minute. But what do you feel is the outcome? What would you say if someone's watching? Like, where is life different for you now?
Bar none, night and day different person. Self-confidence. I had confidence before, but people outwardly notice it. Old professionals are commenting on what are you doing differently. Being able to get out of my own way to know how to do life that you can actually have balance in a life that I deserve, that I before maybe didn't think I was worthy of it, or different life expectations that really anything's possible.
That's incredible. And here's the thing that's so incredible for me, because I know Jill, obviously, for anyone watching, but Jill, when you walk in the room, you're not like a wallflower, you know, you're not like little shy girl who like had to come out of her shell. So to talk about confidence in that way, that's really a whole new level. And I think that's a big deal for us high achievers because, you know, I would say the same thing early on in my career. People saw me as super confident, but that didn't mean that I wasn't second guessing myself, or I don't know, is it some of that for you? Like you're no longer upstairs in your head, like worried about things, or how does it really manifest for you, this newfound confidence?
Definitely doubting. I like to put myself in situations that I don't always know how I'm going to tackle it, but maybe I'll make a decision and then I'll doubt, was that the right way, or could there have been a different way? That was one. And then just personal wise, I've been terrible about suppressing my emotions and not dealing with those confrontations, whether it's family or friends, and showing up differently, kind of compartmentalizing. And now there's no difference. It's a shift, and I can show up the same way in all areas of my life.
Ooh, got it. So confident in those personal conversations, which that's not easy, because that's where the rubber really hits the road, right? So to have a different conversation with people you really care about, that's pretty cool. And as high achieving women, we don't like to share our emotions. So that's like Supergirl power. I love that. Okay, awesome. So tell us then, like, where were you at before you found us? Like, what was going on in your life, in your career, where you were thinking, I got to do something?
So for 10 plus years, I just thought that success meant you do what you need to do, and you put your all into work at the sacrifice of maybe health or friends. That'll come later. And so I finally got to a point where I started a new job, and I started to see some of the same patterns of always saying yes to projects, being looked at the taskmaster. And I wanted to level up in a way that was seen as a stakeholder and a seat at the table with more of my ideas, not actually taking work with me. And so I was in and out of the hospital with lots of health issues, not married, and fast forward 10 years, I didn't want to be in the same place that I was in now.
That's amazing. Awesome. Yeah. So you were just kind of taking inventory of your life and going, something's got to change. Had you tried other things? Because a lot of times, you know, we've tried a lot of external things before we start realizing like, ooh, maybe I need to like, you know, operate in a new way.
I had tried, you name it. Internally, I tried counseling, and that's, you get some level, but it never really fixes all of it. It's more personal than not work.
Yep.
I tried all the diets, you name it, different supplements. I had been to a personal training, and the scale was not moving. Health-wise, lots of medicines, lots of things that it just kept piling up, and sustaining life that way was just, I couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah. And so that's fascinating, Jill. I mean, not in a way, I mean, it's terrible, right? Because we want you to have results, but where are you at now with some of those things? Because you're really talking about like the whole enchilada. Like, are you finding that you're now making gains in your health and in some of these other areas?
Yes. I thought I was dealing with stress with working out, but actually suppressing those emotions, stress takes such a toll on your body that I really wasn't managing, or I was zoning out, kind of going through numbing. And now when something is a trigger emotionally, I know how to rationally breathe, set it aside, ask the right questions of curiosity to realize and not take it personally, but know how to hit it head on and not let it just continue to boil up. So that now when I'm working out, I'm going with a different reason that I'm there. It's a bigger why. I now have the why of I've lost 13 pounds total. So just health-wise, I feel better. I'm doing the right thing, and it's working because I'm tackling both sides.
Wow, Jill, that's huge. I mean, we hear that from other clients. You know, I always say like, you got to get yourself kind of in the right place first, and then the weight starts to come off, because if not, you know, we're too stressed, you know, whether you're eating or not, like it doesn't matter. Your body can't let go of that weight because it's a protection mechanism. So 13 pounds is huge. Hello.
Well, and then not only that, but so over years I had gotten what's ulcerative colitis, which is a daily medicine that doctors have told me I have to take forever, and you won't be able to tackle it with nutrition. I actually got to a point where I think I'm on week 3 or 4 without medicine. Yeah. Now, I don't know if that will be forever, but I'm just maintaining and managing with nutrition and health. My goal would be to keep that way.
Yes. Well, but Jill, you finally have the space, the head space mentally to focus on your health because you're not so stressed out at work, what I'm hearing. Yeah. Right? And so look at this. And the doctors are like, oh, you're going to take that medicine. We've heard that before. We've had other clients who have had different medications they were taking for stress or whatever, where they literally, you know, they were pouring like Zoloft on their breakfast cereal in the morning, you know, to handle anxiety or whatever it was for them. And it's the same thing. They're like, God, Kate, within 3 or 4 weeks, like 15 years of medication, and it's gone away. Gosh, that is so incredible, Jill. I'm so happy for you. Okay. What, I guess what I want to know is what else did you, well, we kind of talked about that. What else did you try before you found us? But how'd you find us? How'd you find CWU?
Randomly one day by numbing out on Facebook, I stumbled across this video, and it was, are you a high achieving woman that is trying to figure out balance? Yeah. So I clicked on it, and it was like one of those videos that you just keep watching and don't stop watching. And 45 minutes later, it was like, oh, I need more into this. What is this?
That's awesome. Cool. So just through Facebook, you clicked on the ad, clicked on the video, you watched it, and you booked a call, and boom, boom. Do you remember how long it was between you saw us on Facebook and between then and becoming a client? Was it like days, months, hours?
I think 48-hour period.
I love it. I love it. And I love it because that's you also just being really decisive and saying, you know, I'm making a decision for my life and I'm going to do something different. Oh my gosh, that's why you're such an amazing client. Okay, so what happened right? Well, I guess I was going to ask you what happened right away. Well, what was one of the first things that you saw as a result? But it sounds like it was really in your health right away.
So first was really changing my morning routine, and that was a ripple effect. Instead of starting my day with crazy chaos, looking at all the mountains of emails and things that were coming, Byars, stopping that and resetting my day in devotional and actually going and walking the dog first without my phone. That set up my intentions and gratitude for the day that just rippled over throughout. And by the end of the day, right away, I was able to literally put my computer away, not open it at night when I come home, and actually put my phone to the side and not be sitting there freaking out going, but I'm going to miss an email. I'm going to miss something that I need to do right now. So I was intentionally home with the people that I needed to be with in that moment.
That's pretty cool. And how long was it into working with us? Was that within the first couple?
I would say we trialed things that very first week. So I would say a solid 7 days, I had started to already see the results, and a solid 2 weeks, it had started to create and form new habits.
Wow. Isn't that great? I love that. And it seems like, I think we all know, Jill, you know, before you really understand human behavior and the things that we teach, we all know we're supposed to put our cell phone away. You know, we all know we're not supposed to reach for it first thing in the day. What for you though helped you break that habit? Because we all know what we're supposed to do and we don't do it. And that's why, you know, we teach what we teach, because we're trying to help you sustainably shift your habits. But was there anything specific for you? Was it just the awareness of needs, or was it the awareness of like those habits that you'd formed?
No, I think it was learning through this program, to give yourself grace and allow yourself that, I guess it's okay. Things will always be there. I knew they were always going to be there. And I teach time management. I'm telling people to do this.
Right.
We are not doing this. And so you have to actually practice things and trial things, and you will keep me accountable. The group will keep me accountable. And you don't want to show up to that Friday call, and say I didn't do it.
Yeah, there's a little bit of pressure there that we all get together and we're going to talk about like, what did you do this week? And if you haven't done anything, it's like, oh, I don't want to be that person showing up. I love it. What did you find maybe the most beneficial, like as you work through CWU? Was there any one thing that you really like? Because obviously we use a lot of modalities to help you and to support you and to give you that training. Anything specific that really resonated for you?
So I really I learned by doing,
Okay.
and there was actual at my fingertips specific things and tools that I could use as a template to put into place. So we all set a vision for a team. There was a vision template to think about it in a different way, that you actually got to trial it, get feedback, and it was like working in bumper cars, or when you're bowling and you have the little bumping rails, you can trial things with some help.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad you said that. You know why? I think that was really intentional for us too, because, you know, I've done a lot of training. I've had companies sponsor me for training, all these wonderful things. And they're really, really incredible training programs. But I always felt that way. You know, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I was so excited when I was there at the class or the, you know, whatever. And then I'd come back in my environment and be like, okay, am I doing this right? And so basically what you're saying is it was helpful for you that we were giving you these action steps, but you still had a sounding board. You could come back and say, what else can I be doing? Am I doing this right? How do I really get the result? That's cool. So what changed in work, or how do you feel you showed up differently at work? So it sounds like that leadership piece that we teach, or that team building piece that we teach was one thing that you really incorporated. Was there anything else where you found yourself showing up differently at work? Was it different boundaries or different communication, or I'm not sure?
So I would say definitely boundaries, communication, and just strategy. So boundaries, being able to know that I could say no, I could say yes, but no.
Yeah.
Yes, I can help you here, but what that may look like looks a little different. Let's define it. I could walk into a meeting and just close my mouth and give my recommendation and wait and let the others talk through it, and walk out feeling that my value was the actual words of my recommendation.
Yes.
And so there were massive changes within the company. They had been dealing with a consulting firm for 5 years, paying out the nose for very academic type curriculum that nobody reads. It wasn't working. And so being able to show up and show it in a way and articulate it with a voice that they heard, that they didn't renew that contract. There were lots of those types of things that I was able to shift the mindset of what needs to change with the culture as well in the company.
How rewarding. I mean, because that's you going in and influencing the room, not, ooh, I'll take on that job. That's you saying, I'm valuable for who I am and my expertise. Here's my recommendation. But I love that because you're swimming in your lane and you're not taking on, like, that's what you said. I don't want to be the taskmaster. I want to be the influencer. And that's who you are. Doesn't that feel good? And then you can go home and work out and not be stressed out.
Yes. Yes.
Instead of like, I used to do that. I would walk into these meetings and I'd walk out and I'm like, man, everybody's walking out and I suddenly have the assignment. How did this happen to me again? Like, shut your mouth, Kate. Oh, that's so cool. But more than that, it's not just about saying no. And I hope for anyone who's watching this, we all have heard that before. You just need to learn to say no. What you're talking about, Jill, is really a higher level place to operate where you're finessing what's going on in that environment, because we can all say no to assignments, but then are we getting the results? But what you're saying is, no, I could go in and actually influence the result without necessarily taking on more work and more stress in the process. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yay. And now you're bringing all this deliciousness to this new role, because she switched companies for everyone watching. So now you've switched into this other company and you're bringing, so do you feel like now you have this new runway or this new like playground? Because it's like, it's like Jill 2.0 is now starting in this new company.
Yeah, they actually moved meetings for me. I mean, we're talking 20 people to start, and move my start date so I could join the two-day kickoff calls and strategy sessions, rather than me normally saying I'll just come in late and catch up.
Yep.
It was a very different just entrance into this new role.
How do you feel, Jill?
Just amazing. It's
cool.
It's nice to just be very comfortable in my own skin and not waver in any way, and know that I'm okay just being me.
It's awesome. Just authentic, just flowing through life, doing what you need to do. And then up leveling where you're living at work and your compensation, your health. Life is good for you, Jill.
Yeah. Yeah. Not to mention, hopefully we can put this in here. The biggest thing that shifted is my entire 360 world. So I had been in a relationship for 7 years.
Yeah.
With the same man. Loved him, but was thinking of the potential of the potential of getting married and having kids with this man.
Yeah.
And realizing I don't just want a good life. I don't want a great life. I want an incredible life. And what am I doing?
Yeah.
And that was called out to me. It was a good gut punch, but just to really evaluate that I was numbing and accepting that I was staying very stagnant in my life, that I'm now at a month of no longer in that relationship. And I feel just this huge weight lifted off of my shoulders. And there's really unlimited possibilities of the future, and it's pretty exciting.
It's super exciting. Yes. No, I'm glad you said that, because relationships are a tough thing for high achieving women. We tend to attract men very often who need us to be strong and need us to be that woman on the pedestal. And that doesn't mean they can always meet us where we need them to meet us in a loving relationship. And I still remember like the first few help desk, tickets or whatever you would put into me. And it was always defining him like, he's the guy. However, here's all these things I need to change. And we just kind of kept like working with you on like, okay. And then I think I finally said to you like, well, what is it you really want? Do you want just like to continue to compromise to this level, or do you want him to come up here? And I mean, I think that was like, with all the work you've been doing, it was like the fire was lit and you're like, I want this. And it's like, okay, well then you need to go ask him if he's willing to meet you there. And he wasn't. And that's okay. Because now you're going to meet someone great who will, but you've now set the bar for where you want to be. And, for any high achieving woman who's watching this, we do this a lot. We're so tough. We're so strong. It's like pulling bricks, a bag of bricks behind you up the hill to get to this place. And for you, Jill, the bag of bricks, if you will, in all these different ways, your health, your relationship, your career, it's like that's gone. And now it's just you charging up the hill to wherever you want to be.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Yay, pretty cool. And now you're getting ready to move into a new space. And are you taking your dogs with you? You've got the dogs going into the new space with you?
Yep. So I sold my house, closing next week, and closing on my new place the same day. And I'm moving with the dogs next week.
Yay! So happy for you, Jill. Oh my gosh. Well, any last minute words to someone who might be watching this, to another woman who's sitting out there and saying, you know what? Life seems a bit stale and a bit stagnant and compromised. What would you say?
I would just say, if you are thinking now is not the time, there will be another moment, and you're struggling with any of this, there's no reason to wait, and not live in the way that you can live, and just get out of your own way and see what this is.
I love it. I love it. That's so right. So right on, Jill. There's never a good time to change your life, is there? Now is the time. Thank you for that. Jill, thank you so much for, being here and on your Sunday, what's actually Sunday when we're broadcasting, and, just being willing to share your story. I know it's going to resonate with other women out there who can identify with the things you've shared. So I super appreciate it.
Thank you. Good luck.
Awesome. Thanks, Jill.